this works. All right, everybody, welcome back. It is week 24. We are not in my garage. We are still with Jonah, who is on his way as far as he can possibly imagine to the edge of the known world, to Tarshish. And he is in the hull of a boat, fast asleep, thinking that he has successfully run away from God. But remember, last week we talked about how that even though Jonah has given up on God, God did not give up on Jonah. And so God sends a severe storm to where the ship is. And the sailors are freaking out. The ship's tipping back and forth. They're throwing over all their stuff so that the ship won't sink. And they find Jonah in the hull, still fast asleep. And they pull him up on deck and they say, "What are you doing? Help us. You need to pray to your God. Who are you?" And if you were listening to Ryan's sermon this past week, then you know that Jonah actually had forgotten who he was. He gets it wrong. He says he's a Hebrew before he says he's a follower of God, a worshiper of the living God. And he doesn't even mention that he was a priest. He's forgotten. He's forgotten who he was because he forgot who God is. John Calvin writes that all wisdom, insofar that it is true and solid wisdom, consists of two parts, knowledge of God and knowledge of self. That when we forget who God is, we forget who we truly are, who we're called to be, who God has made us to be. If you look in the stories of Scripture, then there's so many times people make horrible decisions right after they forget who God is because they've forgotten who they've been called to be. And so my challenge to you all this week is this: to remember who God is. Remember that God is the God who pursues you no matter what. God is the God who is dying to love you on the cross. And God is the God who knows you better than you know yourself, who longs to bring you to newness of life, to show you that true wisdom of who you truly are called to be. So the way that I want you to do that is I want you to remember that God is the God who remembers you. Every day this week to pray that prayer, God is the God who remembers me. Maybe even pray to God, God, remember me, remember me, put me back together, form me, shape me into the person that you've already created me to be. This week, we're still getting ready for launching our small groups the first week of September, and then our fall kickoff that's starting the week of September the 13th. Remember, God's up to something, and we hope we'll be a part of it.